Imagine you have to multiply massive numbers together. For our tiny wizard, that's like trying to push a giant, messy mountain of heavy toy blocks all by himself. One wrong move, and the whole thing comes crashing down. But the tiny wizard has a clever secret. Instead of trying to move the whole mountain at once, he gives that chaotic pile a secret magic name. These names are much shorter and easier to handle than the blocks themselves. Here's the magic. When the wizard uses these secret names, the impossible task of multiplying huge piles of blocks turns into the much simpler task of putting those neat stacks side by side. He doesn't have to invent these names from scratch. He looks them up in a giant glowing magic book. Long before we had computers, people used books just like this, thick volumes filled with thousands of these shortcuts. By using the book to find these secret names, the wizard is finding a way to make even the biggest multiplication problems feel a lot lighter. Sometimes, the wizard already has the secret name, but he needs to know how many blocks it represents. To do that, he simply reads the magic book backwards, starting with the name and ending with the blocks. But what happens if the wizard has a pile of blocks that's slightly different from the ones in his book? What if he's looking for a name that sits right in the gap between two pages? To solve this, he uses the middle guess trick. If you know exactly where the candy store is and exactly where the park is, you can figure out where you are if you're standing right halfway between them. The wizard does the same thing, estimating the middle point between the spell above and the spell below to find the missing name. If a name he finds is a bit too long, he has a simple rule to keep it tidy. He looks at the very last digit. If it's a big number, like 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, he gives the digit next to it a little bump up to the next size. Otherwise, he leaves it alone. These rules make the book incredibly flexible. Whether he's guessing the middle or tidying up long names, the wizard always has a way to find the answer he's looking for. Now, some magic spells in the book are a bit grumpy. These represent numbers that are moving in the wrong direction, which can make the wizard's work feel confusing and backwards. To fix a grumpy spell, the wizard finds its best friend. He simply asks, "What do I need to add to this number so the total reaches 10? If he has a 3, its best friend is a 7. Together, they feel much more balanced. This best friend trick is perfect for when the wizard has to work with numbers that have been flipped upside down. Even when the numbers are topsy-turvy, they still pair up to reach that perfect 10. This is how the wizard handles the twin wizards found in the book. These are pairs of spells that always work in opposite directions from one another. Because these twins are exact opposites, their magic names are always best friends. No matter how complex they look, their names always hold hands to add up to exactly 10. Those backwards or upside-down numbers aren't a problem once you realize they just need a friend to help them balance out. Occasionally, the wizard meets baby wizards, spells that are so incredibly tiny they don't quite fit into the normal pages of the book. To make them fit, the book gives these tiny wizards special little correction hats, labeled S and T. These hats adjust the small spells just enough so they can be used with all the other names. Remember, the main magic of the book is turning multiplication into simple adding. But what if the wizard wants to do normal addition or subtraction using these secret names? For that, the usual rules won't work. He has to flip to the very back of the book, to secret pages called the addition and subtraction tables, which are designed for that specific job. No matter how small the wizard or how unusual the task, the book always has a special hat or a secret page to make the math work. With these tools, the wizard can handle those giant mountains of blocks with a simple snap of his fingers. He turns those heavy, chaotic piles into neat, organized towers in moments. That's the power of logarithms. They are secret names that turn difficult, multi-step multiplication into the kind of addition we can do on our fingers. By guessing the middle, pairing numbers to make 10, and using those special correction hats, the wizard can solve almost anything. Real-life scientists and explorers used these magic books for centuries. It's how they mapped the stars and built the first great machines, all by using these secret names to simplify the world. To solve the world's biggest problems, you don't need to be strong enough to carry 1,000,000 blocks. You just need to know how to look up their names.